How much physically stronger are men actually? Men are much stronger on average. The gap widens with age, I think. It's just a biological difference. More muscle mass as a percentage of body weight. More red blood cells. Higher bone density. More testosterone, etc. There is an entire list. The strongest woman is stronger than the majority of men, but the strongest man is stronger than all women by a huge margin. In athletic competitions that can be numerically quantified, there exists a consistent 10 to 12% performance gap. This is across a variety of sports, utilizing a variety of physical attributes, from strength to speed, to agility, to endurance. Whatever the women's record is, the men's record will be 10 to 12% better. That may not sound like much, but it's rather drastic. A lot of men can get within 10 to 12% of the men's record. To use a sprinting example, the women's world record in the 100-meter dash is 10.49 seconds, held by Florence Griffith Joyner. In the 2023 Texas State High School Track and Field Championships, Braden Robinson from Red Oak High School finished 6th in the 100-meter with a time of 10.47 seconds. Braden Robinson was a 15-year-old freshman, and he beat the women's world record held by Griffith Joyner, just as numerous boys' high school track athletes do at state track meets every single year. This disparity exists in strength competitions as well. I'd just assume they're quite a bit stronger than you if you're even vaguely the similar size. Unless you're approaching being the best in the world amongst women. Humans are ultimately one of many that are a dimorphic species. Similar disparities are exhibited across the animal kingdom. It's pretty common for mammals in particular to have larger, stronger males. In most circumstances, a female chimpanzee, lion, tiger, or giraffe is not going to win a fight with a male of their respective species either. 5 feet 7 inches may be taller than the average woman, but it's still shorter than the average man. 145 pounds also isn't really that sizable either. You're not a twig, but you're not big either. The average man wouldn't have any issues overpowering you. Much stronger if they are the same size, because testosterone is natural muscle builder. That's why even big women can't play professional sports at a men's level. Men are typically not going to be utilizing their full strength against women in their interactions, particularly in combat sports. I've never been a big guy. I was always one of the smaller boys throughout school. I started going to the gym last year and started off lifting more weight than women who had been long-term regulars. It didn't take long for their max to become my warm-up. For context, I'm still one of the weaker guys at the gym. Just try to arm wrestle the smallest guy you know. You will be surprised. And I will be surprised if you win. A normal guy your size that weighs 75 kilograms has quite low body fat. Much lower than you. Women naturally have higher body fat. Every gram less fat is a gram more muscles. So it comes down to 3 things. Muscle mass is higher. Bone density is also higher, so a man is able to exert more power on his muscles pound for pound. Men also have a different body composition, again helping with the muscle-weight ratio. OFC, there are some women that are stronger than some men. But those are outliers on both sides. There is also another thing when it comes to holding one's self, in that men can be extremely aggressive if they go Allen. Women can OFC as well, but usually not as vicious and quick. So if you really go toe-to-toe with a man, you can expect him to go in your face and do everything in his power to end the fight within 3 seconds. For all of these reasons, I recommend women to be very careful of taking a self-defense class. Now thinking they can hold their own against a robber. You really cannot, and should absolutely not try. Source: ex-cop, and have seen the results. 90% plus loose that fight badly. Much stronger. Look at Olympic weightlifting. Probably the purest form of strength and athleticism. Kuo Singchun, the best woman at 59 kilograms, has snatched 110 kilograms and clean and jerked 142 kilograms for a total of 252 kilograms. Li Fabin, the strongest man at 61 kilograms, has snatched 145 kilograms and clean and jerked 175 kilograms for a total of 320 kilograms. So at a similar body weight, the strongest man is roughly 27% stronger than the strongest woman. Hard to say, but definitely stronger. My last ex liked comparing strength with me for some reason. And we both work out together a little bit, weren't gym rats. And her lifting a 20 pounds dumbbell was about the equivalent difficulty of me lifting a 50 lb1. I have a coworker who is super into Olympic lifts. I work out very casually and go on multi-month breaks when I get lazy. I outlift her deadlift by more than 100 pounds. This is not the first or the last post on Reddit of someone discovering the difference firsthand. I just recently realized the legitimate strength difference between men and women, and I don't know how to feel TIFU by showing my girlfriend my actual strength. Some examples. It's a raw deal. It's like with chimpanzees. No matter how much a grown man works out, an adult chimp will still be able to rip his arm off. Literally. There's not a ton of men I meet that are decently taller than me. Where do you live? Rock climber here. Men are massively stronger than women, and it isn't close. Rock climbing is one of the more equal sports because mass increases cubically with volume. Even so, after watching men and women in climbing gyms for many years, I've noticed men have one thing most women don't have. I am not sure of the exact term, but I believe it is called a power stroke. It's a burst of strength that is short and explosive. I have seen 3 women in 20 years capable of this at my gym out of hundreds of very strong women climbers. Most women don't even understand what it is. This explosive burst is something most men can do intuitively. The temporary burst in strength is significantly more powerful than what a man can do statically. Most men will struggle to curl a 60 pounds barbell, but if you ask the man to throw that barbell as far as he can do it. If you ask most women to have that explosive strength, many won't quite know what you're talking about. They don't quite know how. Go on and ask the women in your life. I am genuinely curious as to what they say. That explosive strength is a huge deal, since it's way stronger than even a man's static output. It's leagues beyond the average women. A strong 145 lb woman can pick up a 145 pounds man. A strong 145 pounds man can throw a 145 pounds woman. I'm even taller than you. Also lift. Most men are shorter than me. Still, even the shortest dude lifts a lot more. You cannot even slightly compare that. Testosterone is a powerful drug, and we have tiny amounts. This is why it makes me furious when people assume that tall women aren't vulnerable. We are, just like all women. I'd estimate that on average a woman is probably as strong as a 13-14-year-old boy. You ever see videos where female police officers are trying to handcuff someone? There's your answer. You are not gonna win any fights if that's you are asking. A small study showed that men with similar levels of fitness have 162% more punching power than women. That's a massive difference that is probably insurmountable by taking a martial arts class. There are always outliers, but running or carrying a defensive weapon would probably be the best course of action rather than trying to fight a man unarmed. The difference is ridiculous. I always knew men had the upper hand. But it didn't really hit me until I was practicing some street fighting techniques with a woman. She's pretty fit, serious about her health and strength. Granted, so am I. But I'm still not a huge dude, so I at least expected to struggle a little. When I tell you that I had to give myself up almost entirely just so she could practice the moves, I'm not exaggerating. Everything she did was completely at my will. Arsenal recently tried out an idea where their U15 side would train with the women's first team. The idea was that the women would get experience training with people who are stronger than them, and the boys would learn from an experienced, professional, title-winning team. Having some positive female role models wouldn't hurt either. Much of Arsenal women's squad is made up of top international players, yet they lost a practice game against the boys' 50. They lost to actual children. It's not an insult towards them. As an Arsenal fan, I love the women's team and am intensely proud of them. But they're not playing on a level playing field physically. I would much rather concentrate on the problems with women's football than endlessly compare. Physical ability, get them some boots that aren't made for boys' feet. Get them playing on pitches that don't destroy their knees. For starters, you would not stand a chance in a fight or a feat of strength with any man your size or even one that was a bit smaller. Men are so much stronger. It's like a completely different species.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.